Oh, hey, B.
Oh, hi. My eyes up here, cat.
I'm staring at your cassettes. The Incanto Deluxe.
Yes.
You're going to take me through its errors.
Yes.
So this is basically like pretty simple because it has a readout, a little display.
Exactly.
Okay.
But just in case people aren't understanding, first-time users that they don't know what's going on.
Okay.
We're going to turn the machine on and immediately does a little self-test to make sure everything's there. We just had it on, so it's actually already at temperature.
Okay.
So right now it's just like select product, ready for use.
Mm-hmm. And the select product ready for use, that's just those 3 buttons there.
Exactly.
Like which one you're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why anyone would select anything other than this one, but
Because they're crazy. Okay.
So one of the big things that happens with this, it's kind of it always goes wrong with the Incanto is the door.
Okay.
Even though you have the door shut, sometimes this whole situation the screw needs to be tightened because people will have their door shut, but it will still say closed door. Mm-hmm. And that's just because this switch isn't making contact with that while it's closed, because this is a plastic fitting for the screw, so a lot of the times that becomes loose kind of on its own, and you got to screw it in tighter for this all to work.
Got it.
And then the closed door will go away. Another thing that happens with the Incanto is people take their brie in it and put it back in, but it's still, even though it's there, let's see, we made it. So the brie in it's in, the door's shut, but it says brie in it missing, and that's just because this is like a ½ inch away from being
Where
in.
it needs to be set in there.
Exactly. Now it's in. Now we can close the door. Product ready for use. So
basically, it might be a little bit misleading. You just kind of have to jimmy it around a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's very touchy. So many things are meant to work in unison with this machine. So if one thing's misplaced, it kind of just throws everything out of line.
It's like maybe.
Yeah. Let's take this out so we can do the same thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of times this breaks on people's dredge drawers and they don't know what's going on because...
Oh, it actually just snaps off.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably because it's in there and it kind of goes up or down a little bit or something like that. But then
or they wash it and it falls or something like that. Exactly. But it actually needs to engage back there.
Exactly, because you'll keep this dredge drawer missing.
Okay. So if you get that and you know this dude is in there, wiggle it around and then check that.
Exactly. If this is on there and everything's in place, and you're still getting that dredge drawer missing, the clips on there and everything, your machine needs to come in for service because something's going on with the micro switch back there.
Okay. Can I just pick up a new dredge drawer if I notice that the little trigger is gone?
Yes.
Okay.
We sell those on our website.
Got it.
Yeah, you could do that easily.
Okay.
Another one, of course, is the tank itself. There's actually a magnet in the Incanto tank, so now it says fill water tank. Because
okay, so that floats up and it hangs out. It reacts with a sensor on the inside of the machine.
Exactly.
So that tells it not only it has water, but it has enough water.
Exactly.
Okay.
If this drops down, it's going to tell you you're out of water, which you're not yet. It will be like right about here. But like with all the other machines, it's just kind of a precaution. It lets you know that you're about to run out of water before it happens, just so your boiler will always be full of water.
Got it. Okay.
There's a finger guard in the bean hopper, so you should never get something like bean hopper closed because they're not worried about someone's hands getting in there because there's a guard for it.
Okay.
But you will get an alarm if you don't have any beans in there. And the way to answer that is just by adding more beans.
That's pretty sophisticated. What happens if I open the top of my little pre-ground chute? Does that nothing at all?
There's no sensor for that either.
Okay.
And
so some of them it'll do it and it will automatically prompt the machine to be like, oh, now we're using, so we'll give you an error, but these guys don't do that.
Exactly. This one you would actually have to select the pre-ground option.
Got it. What about can I take out my drip tray without opening the door or no?
No, you can't because right now the dredge box is sitting in the drip tray in such a way that you can't take it out. It makes contact with the door first. So that's one of the things about the Incanto. If you want to take out the drip tray or the dredge box, you got to open the door. And it all kind of comes out as one unit.
Okay. But you did kind of, when you were sort of finagling it there a little moment ago, you did kind of release it from the sensor. So it did actually, with the door closed, it did give us a little bit of a...
Oh, did I? Was I able to do that?
Yeah. If you put it back in and mess with it again.
There we go. Now if I close the door, we shouldn't get an alarm. There we go, you're right. but there is no actual individual switch for the drip tray.
But it just keeps that guy.
Exactly. You should never do this
in.
though, because
Really?
yeah, because
really, I shouldn't brew this way.
no, because this seal is actually it's the return pressure for things for like your pump.
Oh.
If there's a little too much water through the brewing cycle, it's all going to go in there, and this is actually acting for a seal, so it can properly catch all that water.
So it's not like if you do that, hilarity will ensue. It'll be like pandemonium.
Exactly.
Okay.
It would not be good. And it's meant to kind of work that way. Like, I don't think it's meant for this to always be in here unless you're emptying it.
Got it.
And then you're good to go.
All right, so pretty simple as far as, it tells you what the story is.
Yeah, and like I said, if you ever are running into issues with your door, which is very common, just because of the way that the machine is built, I would take a look at those 2 screws, because more likely than not, your screw would kind of be, it's not tied up against the plastic.
I see.
So just get in there. Some people have found that using a longer screw will work better, so it can always get the signal from your door that it's actually shut.
Muy bien. All right. Errors and resolutions.
Exactly.
For the Incanto Deluxe.
You got it.
I'm just going to hang down here with your cassettes again, B.
Doesn't it just scream 1993?
It sure does.
Maybe more like 89.
The best years of my life. Thanks, B.
Of course.